The microphone.
I can't even make sound.
The microphone probably hears it. It sounds so weird.
That's like, that was uncomfortable. So, you know what's also uncomfortable? This tiara. Good Lord. My head is too big for this thing.
Oh, it's great.
Ow!
Oh, I left a mark.
Yes,
That's funny.
Oh,
there, that's yours. Thanks.
Can I wear it? Can I wear it?
This
Can
is
I wear
a
it? Oh,
much
okay.
more comfortable tiara.
I want a tiara too. Can we all have tiaras?
Can you crown it?
Mm.
Crown it? Wait. You da 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 da.
Is this what we clap?
Wow.
That is great.
Hello, Majesty, Constantine of the TMRO Empire.
I feel great right now.
I'm
This
so
is
pretty.
awesome. This is, oh wait, yeah, we're gonna start taking selfies. Let me get my iPad up.
Oh
I'm
my
just
goodness.
gonna like, kind of feel like a tourist right
Such
now.
millennials.
Wait, where's the selfie part?
That's
There it
millennials.
is.
I feel amazing. So, I feel so beautiful.
Sorry to
get a
derail
picture
the
with all
show
you
in
guys.
news. I did not mean to make us all pug lock. Bye, Kitty.
pug lock.
Okay, bye, Kitty. I'll see you later.
Sorry.
I don't
I feel like
remember
that
what
was
I
partially my fault too.
I don't remember what I said, but we all started
man.
laughing.
Wait, what?
Athena was
That's
all
good.
just like, this is almost like a forced relationship, and I'm just like,
Great
I don't
show.
want to ruin this relationship.
Am I
for months.
muted for anything?
If you want to stick
Do you
around,
want to stay for After Dark?
after dark, we just kind of like hang out and chat with our folks who stick around and watch
Seen it
us.
once, yeah.
If you want to, you're welcome to, but you're not required to. If you gotta go, you gotta go.
I probably should take off.
Okay,
Because my
that's good.
Thank you,
my
man.
I'll help you
my
with the
Yes,
microphone there.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
Give
on.
a big
so
hug.
much.
was blast. That
Thank
was
you.
really
And
It
great
was
job.
such a blast.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Here.
Excuse
great
us
seeing
just for
you,
1
Matt.
second
Just
while we
walked
farewell
right in
our
front of the
guests. You
camera.
have a space mic here.
In the meantime,
It's
look
now
at
the
the
Space
shirt.
Mic
keep everyone
show.
entertained.
Dude.
keep everyone
Oh, actually,
entertained.
Space Mike, you can drop a beat and start rapping.
Oh, that's so cool.
Ready, go.
Got my SpaceX shirt right here, and let's see, dropping a beat. Let's see. Oh man,
She's still going.
let me tell you about the crew
That's
tomorrow.
so cool.
Again, as always, right.
You're so tall.
I'm
I was like, are you wearing heels? You're not even
So
wearing
tall.
heels.
No,
Oh, man.
wearing flats.
I cannot juggle.
Oh yeah, sign. Okay,
Oh,
wait.
yeah, sign the
As he
set.
signs, I'm gonna sit back down. Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited to show some of the stuff.
Staticky. There we go. What?
I'm excited to show the pictures that were put together after us watching
yeah.
First
Some
Man. It was really
great
cool because I
photos.
was still here in the mythical land of Arizona, but we timed it so that we would all be watching the movie at the same time. And took pictures not of the movie. We weren't pirating the movie, but just taking selfies of ourselves afterwards. You guys were terrific. And to Wicked.
It
Hang
was
on.
so good to
Doug's
see
on the
you.
board.
Thank
Doug's
you
on the
so much for coming on the show. Yes,
Oh,
see you
man.
soon.
Anomaly. What do I think about the Roscosmos sabotage rumors? I think they're just that, rumors. What
on.
I think happens, at least if you're talking about the hole
never
in the
Wait, Mike, who are you talking
MS-09.
to?
Anomaly in the chat room. He
Where's
asked
the
what I think
reload
about
rundown thing?
Gosh. I think that, honestly, what I think happened is that there was probably some low-level engineer, assembly guy at the pad who was supposed to have done something, but probably went a little too far or drilled in the wrong spot or something like that, and was just like, oh, crap, and put that glue that we know came out in. And so I'm pretty sure it was that. I mean, the idea that Rogozin has put out
There's-
there that one of the
there's photos,
astronauts at the
there's
space station drilled that hole, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. These people have trained for years and have spent years of their life focusing on that one goal of being able to fly into space and doing an incredible amount of training.
Space Mike, I have the
if
photos
they
now. I had to.
didn't want to go, they would have backed out. They would have backed out. You got the photos now? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
ready?
Anyway, I hope that answers your question. Boom!
You're welcome, Internet. I had to remember how to run the board here.
Isn't that amazing? And I'm
Okay,
not
wait.
actually
There's
there,
a better one. There's a better one. Ready?
Totally a sign. That's totally a sign I would have. Notice Ben wheeling around the hologram TV having
Yeah.
his external power cord.
Oh, there was a few more, but those are the only two I had time to make before the show. So thanks,
Oh my
Don't Less
gosh.
in the Discord channel for
That's
that.
such a cool photo.
Did you want a picture?
Oh man, that was cool.
So how that photo happened, right? So I lost everyone because I went to the bathroom, and then I came back, and
welcome,
everyone was
Internet.
standing here, and we were trying to get a photo.
Taking a picture?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, photo time.
Sure, wherever.
Are we gonna like move the
Wherever
chairs?
Stay, it's okay.
But we need you to be on our level. So either we all
Wait,
stand
does
or we
that
all
mean I
sit.
need a box to
Or
stand
should,
on?
should we get an apple box?
Okay,
Yeah.
where are we going? Oh,
I think
I
Matt
go
should
here?
go like right
Stay in the
there.
shot. Stay.
That's what
stay
I'm
in the
doing. I
photo.
just need
here,
to make
Lisa.
sure I don't cover up Mike.
I want Mike
I'll
in the
move it
shot.
adjust to you. You're
I can't
fine.
hear you, Mike, but you went. How was Jordan?
Amazing. It was so amazing.
Amazing,
I
it
can't
was
hear
so amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Athena's translating for you.
Here we go. Ready?
Yay!
Everybody say planetary.
Planetary!
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay! Awesome.
Excellent.
Thanks, Matt.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
See you next time. Bye. Thank
I
you.
hope so. Yeah. See you at our place.
This is my
Please
first
Yes.
Yeah,
digital.
Yeah, let's do
For
it.
sure.
There, I actually gave a talk there a couple years ago.
At our office?
Yeah.
At the new office?
Yes.
Good.
In Pasadena.
Good.
So.
So I was going to say, if
Sweet.
you've been at the one on Grand, you really ought to go.
That was
back.
my first digital remote group photo.
They're fun, aren't they, Space Mike? I did one the very first episode of Science. No, the practice, Science Discovery 1.00. We took a practice photo when I was still in New Zealand, like streaming from my bedroom.
I see, yeah.
And then like you and Jay were on either side of the screen, and like you got a selfie in it. I didn't look exactly in the right spot, but it was really cool.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like this photo a lot. So we ended up we wanted to get a photo, but there was no one nearby, so we were trying to take a group selfie, but my arm isn't long enough. And so I went and put my phone down on timer, and then someone walked by, but the timer was already going. So we got the photo, and then someone walked by with their popcorn. It was nice enough to take a photo of us, and that was the other photo.
But then Athena, like as they were walking away, Athena was like, "Do you want me to take a photo of you and your popcorn?" Like,
And I was like, kind of sad. She didn't want to get a photo with her popcorn. I was like, it was like
I'm
you know, I don't know. I guess, if when I'm out at the movies and I'm with my popcorn, I ask
Snack
people
time.
to take a photo. Oh, what is that?
I poured some goldfish and then I put almonds on top of them, and then I think these are pistachios.
Pistachio.
So
I'll
goldfish,
test it for
almonds,
you.
pistachios. Yeah, could you test this for me?
Pistachios.
oh,
Test it? Why?
wait, I don't want to make eating sounds to the
Nom,
internet.
nom, 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 nom.
Yeah, that's my job.
Wait,
So-
okay, so
Sorry.
it's totally okay. I tested it,
You
and
might want to
you won't
mute me,
die.
did it. Thank you.
Shall we talk about our thoughts about First Man? Shall we give our review?
Yes, go.
Just. Are you gonna spoil it?
Oh yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah, no
no
spoilers.
spoiling.
Hashtag no spoilers.
I'm glad you said that, Dada. I didn't think about that.
I mean, I know that our community is avid space fans, but I'm sure there's
Right.
a lot of people that just haven't yet had
Well,
time to see it.
Anomaly says,
Spoiler alert, they land on the moon.
Anomaly says, what is your review
This
of the
moon.
movie out of 10?
This is definitely a moon.
So
Okay.
that's no moon. I would give it
What does it say?
5 out of 10.
What
I
is the
actually was
movie
not a
review?
giant fan of the movie.
Dang.
I saw it twice, and I'm gonna see it a third time. And the thing is, I felt like at first I was excited for a lot of action, but because there was more depth psychologically, the first time I felt like I had a lower review. The second time I felt more into it, and there was things I noticed I didn't notice the first time I
Maybe
saw it.
I need to go and see it again.
Yeah, and then it made so much more sense. So my friends I brought that aren't too familiar with the Gemini program and like space stuff, they felt more confused and was just excited for a lot of jam-packed stuff, but a lot of them felt very moved just by like understanding what happens psychologically to people for space travel without spoiling anything. That's it, all I'm saying. But yeah, I actually liked it a lot because it had a different approach than most space movies do, which are usually very action-packed, space, which is awesome.
I liked
But
that
this was
aspect.
like, hey, like this is what really happens, like to a person, on top of also being a human being with a life on Earth.
Yes.
So it was, yeah. But I liked it a lot. I actually thought it was really, really cool, and it was well developed, which was great. So I'm gonna go grab some snacks.
Okay.
and put some on the table because that moon table is everything. I love these little tables.
Prismara asks, can you really say spoilers for a based on actual events movie? Yes, because I went into that movie expecting something completely different of what they actually did, including events that I didn't actually know happened. And I suppose if I had read the Wikipedia article on Neil Armstrong, maybe I would have realized these events, but I didn't, and it hit me in the feels way too hard in a different direction than I intended. Like,
Yes.
I was ready to feel feels for like landing on the moon, whatever blah challenges,
America,
but
heck yeah.
I was not ready for and I maybe cried a little couple times in the movie. No one saw, but it's fine. Yeah, no spoilers.
I cried too.
But yeah.
For me, For me, it was the movie I was expecting it to be because I knew it was going to be about Armstrong, and I knew it was going to be focused about Armstrong. Because actually, one of our TMRO viewers was kind enough to send his copy of First Man to me, and I had read it before the movie.
Oh, it's based off a book?
Yes, it's his
man.
official biography.
Right, maybe that's why.
So,
Oops, it's my bad.
to me, I knew going in the time period that it was going to be covering was a tumultuous time period for Armstrong and the Armstrong family. So I knew that it was going to be really tough to watch that.
They're bats.
Because Halloween.
Nice. So to me,
And ghosts.
it hit all the things that it needed to. It showed Armstrong as who he was. He was an engineer's engineer. He was an astronaut to astronaut. He was a very serious man. He understood what was behind him. He understood what was in the present, and he understood what was in front of him. Mm-hmm. And he knew that he had to put in the work to make all three of those goals happen. And he was very motivated too by those things that happened early on in the story of the movie, I guess. So.
Thank you. That's good. I'm good.
I think it was light on his wit, though.
Yeah, he was a very witty guy, but I feel like if they had portrayed him as being as witty as he was, that might have given mixed signals to the people there. Because if you look at some of the interviews that he did, and the way that Gosling talked in the reproduction of those interviews, he was pretty dang close. Armstrong was like a no BS kind of guy. He didn't care where the BS was coming from. He wasn't having any of it. And he was not afraid to come up and basically blow it off when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you not?
Yeah. I think what I appreciate the most about First Man is that at no point did it attempt to romanticize anything.
That's what I appreciated
It showed,
about most. Yeah.
it showed flying an X-15 as probably the last thing you ever want to do in your life. It showed the Gemini spacecraft as a claustrophobic vehicle, because it was. Because basically you had a seat and the same amount of room as you have in a car in the front seats with someone else there and all your gear. And it did not pull punches in showing how difficult it was and the sacrifice and the work that you have to put in when you're on the bleeding edge. And it also showed that sometimes you push a little too hard, you get a little too arrogant, and you learn where the edge is, and you learn it very painfully. So
Good point, Tars.
And a lot of people are not going to like it for that, and that's their problem. And
Yeah.
as Tars is saying, I don't know if I want to say that on air or not, but
Yeah.
Tars is correct. Having been around Buzz quite often, Tars is correct. So,
Yeah.
I love
So-
your things. They're so cute.
Something that I really loved about the movie is that all of the hardware looked historically accurate. Everything looked amazing, and I really appreciated how when they did the actual landing, how they intermixed the radio recordings from the actual mission.
Yes.
And Gosling's voice. So I thought that was really cool that they did that. The thing that I didn't like about it, well, I guess I can't even really say this because I guess it's a spoiler, but
Don't say it.
Oh.
Wait, sorry, I'm a big spoiler, like
There's one cool thing.
anti-spoiler person.
With the Apollo module that they used, on like the trip to the moon and whatnot, it's the same set prop as they used in the Apollo 13 movie. So that's why it looks so real, which I thought was really cool.
I think Dutta and I both had the same. I
I had a big
gripe.
issue with the press conference.
Is that
I had a big issue with the press conference.
I liked that scene because there was the whole point is like showing like what they go through.
But do you
with
remember
society.
what Buzz and
yeah.
what Buzz and Neil said in the real press conference?
Jared.
It was reversed. It was Neil who was saying those inspiring
What's up?
things.
What? Really?
Yeah. So I was disappointed that it made Neil out to be this really depressed guy who was just
Shitty
kind of
models.
waiting for it over with. Like he was the one being like, "This is the most important thing in human history," and I feel like it didn't really portray him like that in this movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Interesting.
bring up what Dutta and I had really big gripe on during the movie, which is that the interior of the X-15, the Gemini, and the Apollo spacecraft, and the lander and everything like that, they look like garbage.
Really?
They literally they made it look like somebody just like stringed that all together and things like that. And that's, no, they didn't actually look like, they didn't look that dirty and things like that. Also, another thing that we had a problem with was the use of models. So we were not a big fan, especially the Saturn V launch sequence. Jesus Christ.
There's a number
You mean
of
like
there's a number of
CGI?
scenes in the film for which I know for a fact there exists HD scans of original film,
Huh.
and they replicated those scenes with shitty models.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Rather
why.
than just using the actual footage.
Because whatever Instagram filter they shot the film through, they could absolutely put that over the HD content that already exists, and it would have a more realistic look and feel than looking at a shitty model of stage separation and absolutely Vandenberg tracking of a Saturn V launching.
Vandenberg tracking, excellent.
But Valencia is the best filter on Instagram. I don't get it.
I also
I thought
could
they
have.
did a great job with that filter.
I also could have done without this.
Oh, what was up with all that? Okay, sorry. I don't want to be so, like, I'm trying not to be, like,
I mean,
a critic or anything like that. but
Maybe
that
they were
bothered
trying.
me.
I felt like maybe they were trying to like make it more intimate,
like it
or maybe
was-
they were like making a statement on some
Most
of the
of it was shot with a steady
instability.
cam.
But it was just like it was so shaky cam with everything. It was just like. But one of the things that also Dutta and I expressed an appreciation for was the sound design in the movie.
Okay.
Because Dutta, I don't know if you want to take this one.
Sound design was absolutely amazing. And,
Also-
every beast
But I'm
every
saying
beast
no.
that he was in the middle of was breathing.
Yes.
And I've never
No, it was wrong. That's not how sound works in space.
there are certain
Also, we
points
still
where
have a
you're
Haley.
right.
Woo!
Yeah, all the amazing things that everyone's like, oh, that was awesome.
But the X-15
To figure out what to stand.
No,
Mike,
so
I'm pushing you
the
this
things
way.
I took gripe
Yeah.
with were
Sorry.
how the vehicle.
that was
I want to get Buzz
And then I can go here. Yeah, cool.
talk about this.
Right.
Because I don't believe that's what any of those vehicles would have sounded like on the way up. Like this weird whirring noise as if the vehicle's about to break itself apart on the way up. Shenanigans on that. When you're in
Shenanigans.
space, yeah, it's true. There's no sound in space. There's no air for the
Oh, you
sound to
can't hear what
transfer
he's saying.
through. But if you're
He's saying
standing
like-
on something or you're in a spacesuit, you're going to hear all of the things,
hard to repeat
all
that.
that
That are
vibration.
transmitted
I'm
to
gonna
you.
try and sound like
Yeah, absolutely. So no, it wouldn't have gone dead silent like that.
I agree.
Also, there wouldn't have been a weird vacuum whooshing noise when they opened
Like-
the door to space.
And then silence.
Because they would have already had
They would have.
depressurized.
They would have. Exactly.
I was
So there, I
confused
had
with that as well.
huge issues with the sound design in this movie.
With certain aspects of the sound design, but they're like with like the launch sequences and the
no,
I
the
don't know how
launch
to
sequence
summarize
is
what
where
they're
I have
saying.
issues.
Yeah, that's why I was like, good luck.
the Gemini scene, the X-15 scene, the LLRV.
Oh my God, the
Also,
X-15
everyone's
I think
saying,
they
come on
were-
around on camera so they can see you, Ben.
We'll talk about it, but-
I was having a heart attack
He's
during
done?
the
All right,
X-15
cool.
scene.
He's done.
Oh my God, that's my favorite shot in the movie, by the way, was when Armstrong was flying the X-15 and he looks down and they're on re-entry and he looks down and he could see the skin of the X-15 glowing, coming up and lighting up the bottom below him. I was just literally like, oh my God, I never thought of that. Oh my God, it's just like holy.
Terrifying.
I almost pooped myself when I saw that. Honestly, I was, before
I was
this
sitting
movie.
next to Jared and I smelled it.
Yeah. Before this movie, I was like, dude, I really want to ride in an X-15. That's going to be sick. That'd be so amazing. amazing after this movie? Hell no.
Yeah.
I will pass. So
Haley, did you have like a favorite? Well, with no spoilers. As
No
much as
spoilers.
possible,
Oh my
like,
goodness.
Favorite
So-
part or really terrible part?
So I just saw it yesterday, so it's all really, really fresh. I think the hardest part of it was that it was real, and that when watching this movie, you get so invested, and we know the story. Like all of us, we've paid attention to the Apollo program, so we know the pieces of the story, but we're seeing it again play out, and then the movie ends, and there was no like Avengers-esque like pull me in at the end of the credits, like oh there's gonna be a sequel. It was just like it was so beautifully done, but then it was done, and so I was left wanting more, but
Same.
so now we'll just have to have another amazing space program to have more
I guess-
amazing, wonderful first movies about.
Yeah.
The sad part is like there is no sequel because we never went back to the moon after Apollo yet. That's kind of depressing.
yeah. Ooh, Ben makes a really good point about the end of the movie. It was done kind of like humans on the moon after Apollo.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ow!
Sick burn, man.
Ow!
So you know, but I thought it was very sweet. There was no script to it. It was him in quarantine, and his wife Janet came into quarantine, and they didn't say hi. They didn't say welcome back. There was no questions. It was just like it was that touching moment between the couple that hadn't existed in this entire drama yet. That was just like,
That's a good point.
it was very nice. That was probably a spoiler, but you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll live.
Yeah. Carrie Ann was saying that you compared it to From Earth to the Moon from HBO.
I did. So if you haven't seen that docuseries, it's really well done. I've seen it several times. I would highly recommend. But just like it was like almost that like docuseries, especially including the elements of Gemini 8 and then Apollo 1. Just the presentation of those, I guess, very grave moments in space exploration was really well done.
Oh, interesting. I actually haven't seen From Earth to the Moon, but I think I will now.
Get out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
it's
out.
good. It's very, very good.
That's required watching for Tomorrow Crew.
There's a lot of required watching for
There's a lot
tomorrow.
of fire.
I have it on DVD. I'll bring it with me the next time that I come to California. You can borrow
Yeah.
it. It's very
Sounds good.
Also, some more required viewing In the Shadow of the Moon
In the Shadow of the Moon. Wait, how
That's a
write this down?
fantastic documentary.
I'm going to start
Yeah.
a list.
as well. Also, the
Why don't we-
original
we can
space
start-
documentary for
why don't
all
we start a
mankind.
list on the community forums?
Gonna watch that?
I've already
Sounds good.
I've already got a list. I can.
Yeah, Donna has
Throw
a
it on the
comprehensive
community
list.
forums, community.tmro.tv. I keep plugging it because it's amazing and you should be
And you've
there.
all seen the right stuff,
I will
right?
do that this afternoon.
Wait, that's a
Right
movie?
stuff.
Okay, so this kind of tracks back to. Okay, so
just gonna
when they
hide
open
underneath
up
the table
to the
now,
X-15
goodbye.
flight, they're up in Mojave. I'm assuming that was the Ed Fords Air Force Base. Was it that basin right there? That's the test programs that were leading into the Mercury astronaut program. So how they kind of got
Okay.
all of that, the Mercury 7.
I
It's
found
really
it.
well done. Yeah, make sure everybody watches that one. I have a DVD if anybody desperately needs to borrow it.
Yeah, the right stuff is equally about the Mercury 7 as it is equally about Chuck Yeager as a test pilot.
Okay.
So
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
listed here.
the best pilot you ever saw.
He was featured
God, I'm
not
old.
in the film,
Oh.
right?
Millennials are looking up The Right Stuff, which is like a staple movie for the foundation of everything that anybody understands about spaceflight movies. And you haven't
But is there
seen
an
it yet.
Instagram filter for that?
It literally brought on the walking
You know, just
down the
playing
hall
along
in a
with the whole
spacesuit
millennial.
shot.
Hey, I have seen
so-
the other super important required movie for tomorrow, which is The Core. So, you know, I've seen some.
Writing that down too.
I started watching that a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't.
Have you seen The Core?
I have not. I
I have that written down.
I
The
don't know.
space shuttle lands in Los Angeles. It's amazing. It's my favorite part of the whole movie.
This sounds very interesting. Where does
So you only need to watch the first 5
so
minutes.
I'll just have to watch it, and
Yeah,
then
it's-
all of
It's
my
like wanting to
questions
watch
will be answered.
Geostorm because they launch 100 space shuttles at the same time.
That's amazing! What?
Oh
What
my
movie?
gosh, wait, there's
Geostorm, worst freaking movie ever, but they, yeah. Ugh.
You know, there's
They did 100 space shuttles at launch, and you can tell that they just copied and pasted the same render like on screen. It looks terrible.
There's this really cool animation that a group of students actually made for NASA Launch Services program, NASA LSP, and the students all picked a different vehicle, and then they worked together in groups to like make the animation for this vehicle and all the assets that go with it. And it's like this rendering of like Space Shuttle, SLS, other small launch vehicles. Launching together and like I don't know how to explain it. I wish we had it that I could show you, but then like YouTube copyright, whatever. But look it up, NASA LSP. I think it's the Venture Class promo video. And yeah, so you see a space shuttle coming out here, and he's like a Delta 4, and he's an Atlas 5, and he's a Falcon 9, and they're all like flying up in formation together, and it just kind of gets me excited of like, what can we achieve if we all were launching together?
Why have we ever
did
done
you find
that? Where
it?
we've launched multiple.
Is that it?
Whoa.
Yeah, I think so. It's like 3 minutes long. Here's the part that I think is really cool. Let's copy paste that in the chat if we can, if someone can find it.
Ooh, nice. That's cool.
Oh.
So it's like
This part. How cool is this part? Ready?
watch out.
And then it kind of talks about, we have all these rockets, we've did these amazing things, and like, oh.
I'm getting goosebumps, but it's also really cold in here. But this is amazing. Imagine this happened in real life. You're just like, hey.
coming up.
And there's like another one going by.
Now, realistically, I feel like
What's
the plumes would all interact and like mess everybody up. This part.
Oh, okay.
How awe-inspiring is
Is that a
this part?
Falcon 1?
Potentially.
Well, behind the
Oh
shuttle.
my gosh, it is a Falcon 1.
Like look at all that. Look at all these rockets.
What?
Which one is beating all of them? What is this?
It's NASA's own rocket.
Oh. Everyone is like, show us, share with us, paste in the comments. And we're just gonna sit here and watch. Sorry, guys. No, okay, wait. I don't even know. I can't attach it because I don't know what
is
it
this one
says.
supposed
So
to
we
be?
just posted it in
Oh, we did post it.
Is this like their future?
Oh, it looks like a carbon fiber rocket.
I wonder what are some of the problems they're going to have to contend with.
So
there,
anyway, the
okay,
reason
now.
I like this is it reminds me of that one section
like
in
an
First
eyeball.
Man movie. You know, like you watch, there's this shot of like Neil or whatever
Yes.
about to get on, and then he looks out the window. And the Agena vehicle takes off. That's really cool to me.
So
Like I feel
cool.
like
I was thinking that as well. It's like, hey, like my neighbors are leaving. I'm about to leave too. It's like leaving your garage. It's cool. It's like driving out, and your neighbors are driving out to go to work, and you're like, well, I'm going to Mars today. Where are you going? I'm going to Jupiter. Like
that feeling of like we're all launching at the same time. We all need to kind of coordinate with each other. Oh, hopefully we don't like launch at the same time and like get too close together.
And
Kinda
now
like,
no one will ever leave the Earth.
Venture class.
like
Cool.
yeah. I suppose we could have like shown.
Wait, did you say like
shown it to the
like
camera?
students did this?
This
Yeah.
is a NASA Kennedy
cool.
video.
Students
so we
made that.
should be able to
Wow,
show this. We
that's
shouldn't
really
get
well
in trouble
done.
in
I-
any sort of copyright
neat.
issues.
I don't
This
even
is,
think
this
I
is
can,
public
like-
domain, man.
Edit a Vine like that.
Are we allowed to do that? I don't know. I don't want to
Well,
like
someone
risk it and then like
shared
our
it, so-
thing gets like copyright.
Wait, did we
Anything
not
NASA
post
is-
it?
someone did share
someone
it.
put a link in.
So I just reminded saying, hey guys, just let me try and copy.
Here,
and
let
paste
me
it
drop
again.
a link for
Let me
it.
yeah. Space. Copy.
It's the NASA LSP Venture Class Launch Services like promo
Okay,
video
I repasted
animation.
it. Oh, Jared
Yes,
also
this was
repasted
made by
it.
students.
And
well, there you
Colton.
go.
But
Original music and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
they created it for NASA and it's published on NASA channels, which means that it's public domain. So we shouldn't get in trouble if we were to show it.
can we make that happen? Can we show it? I don't know how to make it happen.
Well, we've added it to the chat.
But yeah, I think it's really
We could open
inspiring.
up a new window. Yeah, that would actually be really cool. So I'm glad that came up in conversation. That's so cool.
That's what I want.
Yeah, I just feel
I
like
did want to
it'd be
ask
interesting.
Jared, with X-15, have you ever heard of Michael Adams?
Mike just asked Jared about someone called Michael Adams. I have to.
Yes,
From the
actually,
X-15 program?
yes, Detta and I have been to his site out in the Mojave. So
My grandfather used to fly with him in Korea and has told me a bunch of X-15 stories. That was his buddy.
Wow.
And he was one of the pilots who died in the X-15 program. So
yeah, we actually went out to the crash site to pay our respects a couple months ago. We went on a Sunday trip to together to a bunch of crash sites out there to kind of pay our respects to the test pilots who've lost their lives. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. Sorry to bring it downer here. I wanted to mention
No,
that earlier. but we
that
got
was cool,
cut off.
Mike. I didn't know you had that connection. Like that's kind of
So
stuff.
seeing first man and seeing how crazy that flight was, especially him skipping off the atmosphere, I'm just like, oh man, this reminds me of all those stories that my grandpa used to tell me about how scary the X-15 was.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was not an easy thing to fly.
Mike just said that the scene where the X-15.
Where he's skipping off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah,
All right, are we winding down?
I think we are.
I think we're winding
I
down.
think so.
Yeah, so we didn't have a guest booked for next week, but we're working it, and we should have a guest confirmed hopefully by the middle of the week.
Because
And
we're gonna be in space.
we'll let you know. It's gonna be amazing. So that's all I got. Well, wait, I want to do that thing where you like say, "See you later next time, bye," and like the YouTubers and like they run up to the camera and they're like, "See you later next time, bye," and they do that, and then like it fades to black. Except there was no one there to fade it to black, so that didn't work.
Subscribe.